Hello, and thank you for joining us on World of Art right here on OGTV. My name is Miriam Usman. Every week, we bring you practitioners in the art world, and together we explore the advantages brought to visual art in our everyday lives. This program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, Grand donor and chairman of Council Yemisi Shilo Museum of Art, in collaboration with Society of Nigerian Artists Ogun State Chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are in the studios of Mr. Ogunaiki Oladipupo. Did I get your name correctly?
Yes, second girl.
Thank you for having us. I mean, we've been having a couple of conversations with artists in their studios, and today what we see here is very, very colorful, and I can't wait for us to get into the conversation. But first, I always ask artists on the program because I know the word of arts or art as a whole for individuals, for the practitioners, for the society, for what it stands is like a journey. And over the years, we've seen how far art has evolved. But for you, what was your journey into art like? I mean, from the very beginning when you knew that this is what I want to do with my life.
Okay, well, I would say that there are stages to them. Well, there was a time when I decided I was going to take it as a course in the university, and there was a time when I
Before
decided.
university, what was it like at the primary,
Oh,
secondary?
okay, I was good. Looking back in time now, maybe good among my peers, but well, I dabbled a little. So I studied it in secondary school, the senior
You
secondary
had an
school.
art teacher.
Yes,
Because a lot of artists always talk about this art teacher as a major problem for them from the onset. Well, you had that figured out.
not exactly. We had just two art teachers in the old school, and we had 52 teachers at the time, I guess, thereabout. I went to Eba Comprehensive High School, so pretty much small, but they were efficient because the people that were studying art at the time were very few too, so it really didn't matter. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about your journey into the university where
Yes.
you decided. I mean, you studied art in the university.
Yes, I did.
What was it like?
Tall.
Wow.
Yes, because at the time, since we decided, now if you take an art course, now the course I took is art education. Now, if you take a course in art education, you would have to study the educational part of it and then the artistic part of it. So combining both theory and practical together was quite tough because you know the lecturers that take practical courses, they don't care that you have theoretical courses. The ones that take theoretical courses don't care about practical courses. So you might have worked overnight over a practical course and you have an ATM class. So that was the challenge from the start. But over time, you get used to it.
Hmm. I'm beginning to connect the dots now. Before the study of art in tertiary institution, I mean, I know of fine and applied art where it's purely the work and all, and then there's art education,
Yes.
and then that art education involves you learning both the theory and the practical, which you said you did in tertiary institution. But okay, so what I'm getting from this is to teach art, you need an educational part of it, not just the talent.
Not exactly. Though I would say, and well, I stand to be corrected, I believe that there are lots of people that teach art and they don't have an educational background on it.
Yeah.
But it's sure enhance the way you communicate it. Because I've seen a lot of artists that are really good, but they can't teach it. People don't get what you're trying to say because, well, they don't know how to teach. So that's on its own is a skill that you learn, just like you learn art.
Have you been teaching since university?
Oh, yes. I've taught a couple of students, even outside of the country, in fact. Yeah.
How is it like?
Now,
Because I feel like the conventional teaching of arts is usually the let's go to the drawing board, let's do this, let's do that. Were there some things you try to, either do more from where you're coming from, I mean the university, or there were some things you just, had to do with the way you were taught and just pass down the knowledge the same way?
well, funnily, I would say that most of the time when students leave school, the first set of problems you face as a young artist is seeing the difference between the things that you learned in school and the things that are sellable in the market.
Yeah.
There are so many things that you learned in school that people don't buy them. So you leave school and you think that people are going to start buying it because I had good grades in school, so people should automatically.
Well,
But yeah, but it doesn't exactly work that way. In fact, you'll have to relearn, learn a couple of things that the market actually wants, because that's how you make money. If the market doesn't want it, you will make money from it.
what are some of those things you had to learn after school?
Well, some drawing styles, because when I started with drawings. When I started out as an artist, I started with drawings, purely drawings, charcoal drawings. But then I saw that the type of drawing that I learned, particularly the ones that we were taught in school, were not sellable. They were not the type that,
Involved.
that the public wanted to buy. Now, those things are good for school because they use them for grades. That's how they know that you actually learned well, but that's not what the public wants. So I had to unlearn that and relearn what the public wanted, and that was it.
Brilliant. So we're going to talk about your mode of expression. You said you started, you learned from school the charcoal drawing and all that. But we obviously don't have charcoal behind us right
Okay,
now. So it
first.
means like you've explored a lot.
Oh yes, I
And
have.
now, does it look like you found your niche?
Well, first, I didn't learn charcoal drawing in school.
Oh, okay.
It was when I left school that I saw that okay, a lot of people actually love the charcoal.
Yeah.
So, um, yes, I have tried out a lot of things. So when I started out, and I started with the pencil. Over time, I saw that a number of people started requesting for the paintings. So now I left it for a while because, well, I just wanted to master the charcoal. But over time, I saw that I actually really like this thing, and I had a number of people that were requesting for it already. So I just started practicing it, and I got pretty good with it quickly, and I have a lot of orders from it. So I keep making paintings. So I do both.
Interesting. So let's come back to your mode of expression now. We have some work behind us here.
Yes.
I'd like you to walk us through it. I've seen a lot of colored work like this, but there's just something about your work, especially the play of lines. It looks like your lines are very bold,
Yes.
like you're trying to make some statements.
Yes.
And I know it's not just there, it was deliberate.
Yes.
So walk us through it.
Okay. If I would talk about this particular style, I developed it. It's something that I would love to call the stylized portraiture. Now, a portraiture is, an image from the head to the chest. Something stylized is something that is not exactly realism, and it is not abstract. It's somewhere in between. That's what a stylized work is. So if it is a stylized portraiture, then it is a portrait that is in between abstract and realism. So that's basically the simple explanation.
So what do you use to achieve this?
Okay, so this is acrylic based, and I tend to keep it as real as possible, but not as realistic, because usually I saw that a lot of people, if you say that you made a painting, they want to see colors. Now, when people want to see colors, you make colors. I love the play of colors. If you look at it, I'm very specific with, and I want them bright. In fact, the brighter, the better, because I want them to make the statement of the bright, the loud, that they don't have to speak until they are communicating to you.
Okay. Yes. That's impressive. One time I asked a sculptor.
Yes.
And I said, what's the feeling you get when you make these things, especially when you are almost done with the work? And the person told me that the happiness he derives from each time he makes the sculptures is that there's a level you get with the sculpting and the sculpture that you feel like that particular piece is talking to you, even without opening his mouth to say anything. And that's, if you look at it, it's not just for sculptural pieces, even for artworks like this. you just see some of them and they're already talking to you. They're already, even without saying the title, they're already telling you messages. And I guess artists like you are, there are messages you love to pass across with your artwork. So for you, do you have a particular area of focus in the society that, your art speaks about? For me, I would look at this as the women, beautiful woman, modern day. This is my own interpretation, but there are definitely more you can tell us about your whatever you're thinking when working.
Most of the time when I walk, I am an advocate for humanity. In fact, it's why I decided that most of my works would be portraiture. It will show the face. Now, the face is the best representation of humans.
Yeah.
So I believe that human beings are good. I believe that human beings are not the wicked, set of things that a lot of people believe. Now, I know that there are a couple of people
Yeah.
have to go through some, but in the purest version of humans, humans are good.
Yeah, we have empathy.
Yeah, that's the zenith of God's creation. Usually, you can't pick an animal and compare them, no matter how calm or good or whatever you can call them. Humans are just humans. And that on itself, that is enough message to even start with, that human beings are good. So every face is an expression of different types of human beings. So there are several people, and by the way, most of my works have stories attached to them.
Yeah.
So they would have several stories. For example, this is Amaka. Now, this piece, Amaka, talks about a young lady. Let's say that you meet a young lady that is 25. Now, that is 25 years of different experiences that would have changed her from her original state to what you are meeting at 25.
Yeah.
So most of the time, people judge you by just what they see at the moment, regardless of the
Way of-
past 25 years. But if you go back 25 years, if you were in the same shoes, you probably will be worse.
Yeah.
So those are the things that the works tend to express. Those are the things that the work tend to express. Now, this, if you look at it, it's obviously a young woman that has the big afro hair. So she's African. She has the glasses, so she's fashionable. The jacket. Now, this is someone that left Nigeria, went abroad. Now, if you are meeting this kind of person abroad, you probably would say, okay, what brought you here? Now, if you're talking about what brought her, you probably don't know what she did to be able to, come to the US. A lot of people that are in the US, some of them had to sell their houses, some of them, their family had to gather the money to send them abroad. So these are things that really define people. Now, if you call this kind of person and you say, let's go to a party, and she says, I'm busy, I'm going to work. You say, yeah, you're too stiff. But she's not stiff.
She knows where she's coming from.
Yes, she has a lot of people that she's sending the money to. She has to respond to a lot of, her life is connected to so many people.
There's a return in investment.
Exactly. So most of the time, people make judgments without looking at the experiences of people. And that is a problem.
You see, I like when artists tell their stories. It makes it even easier, and yeah, it makes it easier to understand the problems. And that's why you are very key contributors to the society. But in a case, are there times where you try to pass messages across through your art, and it feels like people do not understand it?
Oh, yes. See, I believe there are a few things that are languages. First, art is a language. Excellence is a language. Now, by that definition, you already know that it is not everybody that speak it. So there are some people that are stuck in their ways of mediocrity. They don't speak excellence. There are some people that are too, let me put it, craft-minded, for the lack of words, that they are not artistic. Now, the difference between a craft work and an artwork is a craft work is something that is done repeatedly the same way again and again and again and again. That's craft.
100, yeah, true.
So someone that makes a basket, for example, the person will make 100 baskets, they will look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Now, that's a craft work. But an artwork is not like that. An artwork is, they are non-fungible. In other words, you can't make the same type and it will look exactly the same. That's what makes them art.
Hmm.
In fact, that is one of the reasons why AI can't replace humans, because AI can
Replicate.
replicate, and something that can replicate is not an artist.
All right, we go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Remember, you can join in on the conversation and to ask our guests questions on the program. Please stay with us. You're still watching World of Art right here on OGTV, and we are still here at the studios of Ogunaiki Oladipupo. And yes, we've been having a very great conversation around his practice, his work, and of course, the future of Nigerian art. Now, before we went on that break, you tried to explain to us the difference between crafts and art, which I think most times people misunderstand these words.
Yes.
I do also misunderstand these words. I mix them up, craft and artwork. For you, give a lot of instances where, art is art and craft is craft. But let's also come back to the conversation of AI because you started the explanation. There are fears of AI and doing majority of the work or taking some part of artworks. And if you look at in those days, we used to see artists make works like this, probably frame them up, put them by the roadside for people to sell. Now you look at what you see there; they are printed works of AI, and some of these AI get really good that you can't even differentiate human work
Yes.
from an AI work. I went for an exhibition one time, and this artist, the guy drew, I think it was the head of a gorilla or something. It looked so it looks so artificial. It looks like it's not possible to be human. And I said, "Did you make this?" He said, "Yes." I said, "No, you can't possibly make this." He said he did. And so it's becoming difficult in recent time to differentiate between a work made by an artist and an AI work. So as an artist, let's talk about that perspective for you. Are there fears? Are there concerns? Are there things the society should know and should hold on to in the coming year? Because it's going to it will get worse than we are seeing it right now.
Yes, it will. Well, I don't think I have fears because art doesn't sell because it's good.
Okay.
That's not necessarily what sells art. People are under the impression that we are only selling art because it's good. But art doesn't sell because it's good. Art sells first because of the person that made it, the meaning behind the work. Then you can now come to the expertise of the work. There are some, for example, there was a particular exhibition that was at several years ago, right here in Nigeria. I believe it should be Lagos. The title of the exhibition is "They Are All Gone." If I'm correct, they are all gone. It's an exhibition of empty canvases. The canvases are empty.
Nothing.
Nothing on it.
People bought it.
Yes, people bought it. Now, that is art. Art is more about the meaning. Art is more about the expression. Art is more about what exactly is informing this set of things to come together like this. That every stroke has a meaning. Every pencil line, every time you touch it, there's an emotion that is poured into those works. So the emotions that we have, that we're expressing into the work, I don't think AI has that emotion. And some of the expressions that I'm talking about, for example, I begin to talk about some people that, because most of those people most of the artworks that I have, I name them after people usually.
Why?
Well, because they are much more relatable. Most of the time when I find, usually it's either my friends or acquaintance, when I find somebody that has gone through something and that story is inspiring, I make a piece of that person and then name the work after them and call them and say, I'll just tell them, I made so and so work and you inspired the work. It might not look like them, but they are the story behind the work. And usually I will just name the work after them.
That's beautiful.
So that kind of a piece, you can't have AI replicate that, because there are too many things in play than for it to just be expressed by a computer somewhere that is just printing out pictures.
Well, it's good that we are hearing this directly from you as an artist and not being afraid of AI taking over your work. It's just some of the reaffirmation public needs to hear from people like you. But let us also explore the future of the Nigerian art.
Yes.
You know, in recent time, there's been a huge shift. You know, people are now exporting their works from Nigeria abroad. You know, there are fellowships that are calling for art. And then art is also being seen in a lot of sectors in the society. One time I heard this person say, oh, he's a member of art in medicine. And I said, what does that even mean? And the person had to break it down and say, oh, do you know in the medical line, like, art can do a whole lot of work for the patients and all. I'm like, I don't know about this. So let's talk about that for Nigeria space. You know, it's one thing for this thing to be there. It's another thing for the society to welcome it. And also it's another thing for this to truly work for what it represents. The Nigerian art, how is it like right now? What do you see from it?
Well, I am optimistic. I believe that the Nigerian art is going to be really big very soon, because I feel that the only place that we are still trying to get on board is Nigeria itself, because Nigerians are leading the world at the moment. The best pencil artist is a Nigerian, if you'd ask me. The best biro artist is a Nigerian. I mean, we have a set of people that are hyper-realistic painters, and they are super good. I mean, we've had competitions, I mean, worldwide competitions, and Nigerians came first, second, third. I mean, you can't imagine the exploits that the young Nigerian artists are having. We have so many people that have gone ahead of us that are really doing good as artists, and honestly, it's very impressive. And to now top it all up with the works that Prince Yemisi Shillon is doing, I mean, come on, it's mind blowing.
I mean, I've been to the museum and the thing here is weaved by Nigerians there is...
That alone is hope.
Mm.
You're getting to see that so many people are getting on board every day. I mean, I have a number of people, particularly young people, people between their 25 to like their 40s, that are picking a lot of interest in art. The works the pieces that you saw outside before you came in, those that ordered it are young folks. I think they should be in their early 30s. And that's millions.
Yeah, I think those are the shifts we're beginning to see right
so
now.
it's getting catchy by the day. It's getting more interesting by the day. And the funny thing is, I was speaking with another young artist early this year, and the person said, Dipo, I see that there is a big financial shift that is coming for the art world this year. In other words, several artists will be having a jump. I mean, several people will be having a lot of, and those that will make a chunk of the money are people that have gotten a number of those artworks, so that when they skyrocket, they can have to sell it for a high price.
As you as artists, are you positioned to embrace this opportunity when it comes?
Oh, yes. I strongly believe that an average artist should be in 1 or 2 or 3 museums. You should work on your profile. You should work on your social media presence. Let people know that you're there. And find your uniqueness as quickly as possible. I mean, I would talk about the stylized portraiture. I've met a number of people that they said, okay, Diko, I don't know anyone at the moment that does stylized portraiture at all.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, so that's unique. If you host an exhibition and there are 100 artists and there's one person that makes stylized portraiture, even if they're buying everything, they know that I have to buy this one particularly because it's different. So that makes it more positioned.
I can't but agree with all that you said, because this is the real word and this is what is applicable for it. But we have to run along now because time is really not by our side. There's a piece behind you.
Yes.
It's quite different from every other piece around here. That is also your work. Do you want to talk to us about this?
Okay, so this piece, it's inspired by Jackson Pollock. Jackson Pollock, well, they call them post-war abstract painters. So Jackson Pollock is one of them. Now, what they call him the drip artist. So most of his works are drips. You know, he would play with a lot of colors, and then you see this drip thing, and it will have some really complicated background. Now, the real Jackson Pollocks, most of them are in the Museum of Modern Art, Manhattan, United States. Most of them, they are, oh boy, very coarse. You would find brush strokes in them. You will find cigarette sticks.
Indeed, coarse.
It would just put a lot of things on it. Sometimes you find blade, you find sellotape. I mean, several things that it will just, just put on the piece just to make it look more artistic. So that's what inspired the work.
It looks really good. And I heard someone saying it looks like a direct. So it's something that you can even pass to our, our textile attire to make good of the work as well. But I want to say thank you so much for having us here today. It's been a very good time. And I'd like you to give shout out to, couple of persons, the society, of course, Society of Nigerian Artists, the sponsor of the program, and I think for Nigerian artists as a whole.
Yes. First, I want to say a very big thank you to Dr. Yemisi Shilon. I follow his work on a steady. I see some of the things that he's doing. He just renovated an old museum, and he's doing so many things. In fact, he outdo your appreciation, and it is so inspiring, so thoughtful. I really appreciate it. I want to appreciate Society of Nigerian Artists. I mean, these guys take out their time to keep the work going.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes they don't get as much appreciation as they want, but they keep working. And I want to say this to all young artists: please don't stop. The journey is still, we've not reached the destination yet, and the destination is big, is large, is profitable, awesomely profitable. A time is coming when our works will sell for millions still, multi-millions, in fact.
Yeah.
And we're there already. So please hang on, and you are going to enjoy the riches that come from it.
Thank you so much again for having us here
Thank
today.
you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
That's it this week on World of Art. We'll see you next week, God's willing, where we bring you another artist your way and he explore the advantages of visual arts in our everyday society. Until then, my name is Miriam Usman. Bye for now.